Hey guys, welcome back to Music Talk with John. Today I am going to address the MoFi issue that's out there. Now, look, I'm no music expert or anything like that, but I know a lot of people have been talking about it and giving their opinion. So I just want to give you my opinion on what I think about the MoFi thing. Does it make me right? No. I'm just telling you what I feel about it. A lot of people are going to have different ideas of what went wrong there. Did they deceive people? Whatever. So I'm just going to kind of do a quick little video here on my discussion of MoFi and see what you guys think about it. So sit back, kick your feet up, and let's talk MoFi. Okay, so I don't know if you've heard, obviously, I'm thinking you did, because if you're watching my video, you're into music, and you're probably watching a lot of music-related, vinyl-related videos, and everybody's been talking about it. You know, it started off, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, something like that, where I believe his name's Mike from the In Groove. I should know his name. I'm horrible with names. He brought up a video because of the Michael Jackson Thriller album coming out on One Step was like your next step above MoFi. It's like less steps in the process to give you a better quality album. And he was like, you know, kind of wondering, and he put a video out going, they're going to put 40,000 copies of this, and they're supposed to be taking it from an analog only source. How can they do that? Because they can only run so many copies off of a copy of the analog onto the it's a whole process, and there's videos out there on how a record is made. So they make a copy of the analog tape and put it on sort of a template, and you take that template and you make many copies of records off that, but you can only make so many until you start losing quality. So you have to go back to the analog tape and do it again. So he's like, that's putting a lot of pressure on the analog tape, the original master tape. He's like, it just sounds weird that anybody would allow that, especially an album like Thriller, you know, best-selling album of all time. So he did some investigating there, and then he went and actually visited the people at MoFi, and the big finding there was that, yes, there's a digital step in there, that they do bring digital into and to make the albums better, get a better sound. That's why they're able to kick off all these copies of it. So people went nuts. People went crazy. Some people just like, okay, whatever. But your true like analog guys were audiophiles, they're called. I don't consider myself really an audiophile. I am a music lover. I like a good sounding album, and that's what I'm looking for. Sometimes I'll pay a little bit more because it's a favorite artist or whatever, and I know it's going to sound good, but that's about it. I still don't mind, you know, this vinyl world is you have some albums that pop and whatever. I don't have any albums that skip, but you get pops and things like that. But that's just part of this hobby, this love of music, and this type of hobby with collecting vinyl. So some people went nuts. They felt betrayed, and you know, I have to agree with that a little bit. You know, knowing that you have a lot of people out there who are truly into it for the knowing it came from an analog source and it's perfect. And I know some people felt foolish about it because they're like, I can tell the difference between analog and digital, and they couldn't. So you know, those people had a problem with it, finding out that they thought they were buying these true analog straight from the tape with no digital in there. Because supposedly for albums, analog is the true warmth of the album, the great sound that you get when you play a vinyl record. So they felt betrayed, and I get it, and I think MoFi did hold it back intentionally. I think they didn't tell people intentionally. So, you know, so a lot of people are upset. There's one lady I was watching, she's in England, somewhere in Europe over there, and she said, you know, there was a record store owner that she knew of that somebody actually came in with a big stack of his MoFi records and said, here, you know, I want you to buy, you know, buy all these back from me because you misled me. And you know, the guy's like, I only know what I know. And a lot of times, you know, I don't know, did MoFi ever say it is true analog? You know, even though they didn't say it wasn't, you know, some people just thought they knew. So anyway, not sure how that ended up, but some shop owners are taking a hit or getting some frustrated people coming back talking about it. So I wonder if should people blame themselves at some point and then take responsibility because they assumed, but at the same time, maybe MoFi should have let them know, because I think they had a pretty good idea that people thought that these were straight from analog. So, I understand that for some, it's not just about the music, and this is like a hobby for them. And so they want the best, and it's not just the music. It's like, oh, I have this copy. And there's other people in that world that go, oh, I want that copy because it's so perfect and whatever. So I get it. I totally get it. So this is not a judgment call. This is just my opinion. I made the decision. I'm keeping my MoFi. If they have to, not have to, or decided that because they have the knowledge of how great sound, great quality sound should sound like, a great music should sound like, and how to get there. And if you have to put a little digital step in there, so what? For me, so what? If I can put it on, it sounds really good. That's fine with me. I don't, So that's where I stand on it. I'm good. I'll keep my MoFis, and I'm good to go. So last thing I was going to do here, I don't want to bore you too much with it because I know there's a ton of videos out there, but since it is a hot topic, I figured, and it's not going to go away anytime soon because probably lawsuits are going to be coming around. A lot of things are going to be coming. And then the other thing that I heard recently was that even the digital copies that they're making weren't even at the highest quality of digital available, and people were like, why didn't you use the highest quality digital? You even used like a lesser, not the least, but a lesser quality digital. So that came out recently. So some people are just not happy about this. But anyway, I'm going to show you my MoFis that I'm keeping. Every one of these sound great. I don't have any issues with any of these. Some of these I haven't even opened yet, so I'm just going to kind of give you a brief rundown on the MoFis that I have. And these will probably come up in later videos as I work my way through my collection. So we have here, and this is my order. And the other thing I found out too, I did a little bit of research. There's MoFi always does this. They have this right up here. That's their thing. And it says original master recording. And the only difference between that, where it says original master recording, they have another one that just says mobile fidelity sound lab up there. So just watching videos and learning, I found out that when it says original master recording across the top like that, it means every song on the tape has been authenticated, which means they know without a doubt that every one of those songs came from a master reel, the original copy. So it's true to form. If it says mobile fidelity sound lab, that means at least one song they couldn't verify. Doesn't mean it isn't, but they couldn't verify the fact that it came from the original recording. It could have been a later one or a possible copy or whatever it is. So they could, since they can't verify it, they just put mobile fidelity sound lab at the top. I wouldn't know the difference between them. They still sound good to me. So anyway, I'm just going to run through it. Layla, Derek and the Dominoes, Layla, and other assorted love songs. Classic. Can't beat that. Next one I have here is Dire Straits, Making Movies. Front and back, they pretty much look the same. And if you saw an earlier video that I did of Dire Straits, it's probably not their strongest album, so I wouldn't mind getting. I think they have the Brothers in Arms, and that was one of the first digital recordings ever made, true all the way through, and that even sounds really good on vinyl. So I got a couple Bob Dylans. I got the Free Willin' Bob Dylan. This one sounds really good on there. I have, this is one of my favorite 80s albums by Dylan, Oh Mercy. It has the man in a long black coat on there. Then you get into Billy Joel's, and I can't wait to get to Billy Joel. That's going to be like episode after episode, I think, because he's just a guy I grew up with, and I just know everything about him. So I'll be doing, I don't know if I'm going to break it down by album with him, but I have so much to talk about with him. So I have Turnstiles on here. Sounds great. You'll see I have a couple of Billy Joel's here. I have 52nd Street. Backside. I have Songs in the Attic. The one that made She's Got Away famous because it didn't sound high speed and what people called the Chipmunk album by Billy Joel off of Cold Spring Harbor. It's a nice, clean, live version of She's Got Away. Then his classic, if I ever rank Billy Joel albums, this is going to be pretty damn close to the number one. We'll see. And I always like this picture of him on the back there, just like looking at you like, yeah, I just made a great album. Yep, that's me. So, and then one that I just went nuts with in the 80s, An Innocent Man. This sounds really good on this mobile fidelity. Just it sounds awesome. And this is a 45 speed, so you only have 2 to 3 songs on each side of it. Man, it's worth it with the sound of it. And when I don't want to do that, I have other copies of it done the original way, so I can just pop those on. But man, these sound good. Then I have Carole King Tapestry, another classic album. Here's your front and your back. One that's most people were like, what? But Cyndi Lauper, she's so unusual. It's an album I got into a little bit later. I didn't really get into her in the beginning, but listened to this album as I got older and more I liked it. So I have that one. And then this one, of course, just can't beat this one. Men at Work, Business as Usual. Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab. So that means at least one song on here was not verified. So, but it sounds great. Then 2 more here. I have Simon and Garfunkel, Parsley Sage, Rosemary and Thyme. So this one sounds good. And the last one, another one of these classic albums for me, go-to albums, is Supertramp, Breakfast in America. Trying to kind of hold it up here for you so I don't get the glare. So those. And then they have box sets, and then they box sets, and then they have the one-step process, which is like less steps in the process to the final product of the record. So it's supposed to be on really good vinyl and have less steps, so it has a better quality. So there's a couple here I haven't even opened yet. I'll probably do an opening or something like that. I brought this one up before. This is Eric Clapton Unplugged. Already a great sounding album. Can't imagine what it sounds like with this process here. And you have another one I haven't opened yet. Bob Dylan, Blonde on Blonde. Okay, it's crazy. Well, this one's 3 albums, so that one's kind of worth it. But sometimes it's kind of weird when you get one where it's one album and you get a box for it. It's a nice looking thing, but it's a lot of space for one album. So I know a lot of people have issues with that. Then, although I have it on MoFi, I got the one step better Carole King Tapestry. So these are all numbered. This one's number 9,293 out of 10,000. So that's pretty far up there. This one I listened to already, and it sounds excellent. Paul Simon, still crazy after all these years. Just a great album. This one sounds really good. 2 more here. One I haven't opened yet, but I can't wait to open it and listen to it. But it's the Muddy Waters Folk Singer. I didn't even know about this album until it came out. I listened to it and I go, oh, I got to grab that. So that was a good one too. And then the last one I have here, and this is actually a MoFi. It's not a one step. All the other ones that I just showed you, I believe, Ultra. Well, some are mixed. Some of those are MoFi, some of those are one steps. And then this is another MoFi, but they put it in a box. Kind of Blue. This is the go-to Miles album. Although when I get into my jazz, there's a couple there's at least one other album that I think I like a little bit more than this one, that I attached myself to a little bit easier. This is a great album, good beginning jazz album, but there's another one that I really get into a little bit more than this, but I can always put this one on too. So anyway, that's where I am on the MoFi thing. I didn't want to make a huge video out of it, but I just wanted to kind of let you guys know, if you hadn't heard of this issue, which would be weird because everybody in the vinyl community has heard about this, but I just want to kind of give you my feeling on it. You know, I don't judge anybody for how they collect their records. Everybody's into it in one way or another. There's no wrong way or right way to be into music. So I'm just saying, I'm keeping mine. I like how they sound. It doesn't bother me, but I get how it bothers some people. So I'll just leave it at that. So I appreciate you guys watching. Definitely leave me some comments on this. Tell me how you feel about it. Did they deceive you, the listeners, you know, at MoFi? Will they recover from this? You know, what's the lawsuit going to be? But let me know what you think about it. I definitely want to hear other opinions on it. So anyway, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and until next time, you enjoy your music, and you take care out there.